Welcome to Inspire Nation. Today, we journey through the remarkable story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho, a tale of faith, obedience, and divine intervention. Join us as we explore this powerful narrative and uncover the lessons it holds for us all. After the death of Moses, Joshua was chosen to lead the Israelites into the Promised Land. One of their first challenges was the fortified city of Jericho. But before the battle, God performed a miracle, allowing the Israelites to cross the Jordan River on dry ground. This event reinforced their faith and trust in God's power. As it is written in Joshua 3 verse 17, the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stopped in the middle of the Jordan and stood on dry ground, while all Israel passed by until the whole nation had completed the crossing on dry ground. As Joshua prepared for the battle, he encountered a mysterious figure who introduced himself as a commander of the Lord's army. This divine encounter reassured Joshua of God's presence and guidance. As it says in Joshua 5 verse 14, "Neither," he replied, "but as commander of the army of the Lord I have now come." Then Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence and asked him, "What message does my Lord have for his servant?" God provided specific instructions for the battle, which required complete obedience and faith. For 6 days, the Israelites marched around the city of Jericho once a day in silence. On the 7th day, they marched around the city 7 times, and at Joshua's command, the priests blew their trumpets, and the people shouted. As it is written in Joshua 6 verses 3 to 4, "March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets and ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing the trumpets." In an incredible display of God's power, the walls of Jericho collapsed, and the Israelites captured the city. This miraculous victory was a testament to their faith and obedience to God's instructions. As it says in Joshua 6 verse 20, "When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in, and they took the city." Among the inhabitants of Jericho was Rahab, a woman who had helped the Israelite spies and expressed her faith in God. As promised, Rahab and her family were spared during the destruction of the city. Her story is a powerful example of redemption and the impact of faith. As it is written in Joshua 6 verse 25, "But Joshua spared Rahab the prostitute, with her family and all who belonged to her, because she hid the men Joshua had sent as spies to Jericho, and she lives among the Israelites to this day." The story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho teaches us the importance of faith, obedience, and trust in God's power. Their victory was not achieved through human strength, but through unwavering faith in God's promises. As we reflect on this story, let us remember Hebrews 11 verse 30. "By faith the walls of Jericho fell, after the army had marched around them for 7 days." The story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho holds valuable lessons for us in our modern lives. 1. Faith and obedience. Just as the Israelites followed God's instructions with faith and obedience, we can trust and obey God's guidance in our lives, even when His commands seem unconventional. Faith in His wisdom leads to victory. 2. Divine intervention. The collapse of Jericho's walls was a miraculous act of divine intervention. In our lives, we can experience God's power when we trust Him to overcome the seemingly impossible challenges we face. 3. Leadership and courage. Joshua's leadership and courage in leading the Israelites into battle inspire us to be bold and confident leaders in our own spheres of influence. We can rely on God's strength to guide us through difficult situations. 4. Redemption and inclusion. Rahab's story of redemption and inclusion in the Israelite community reminds us that faith in God brings transformation and a new beginning, regardless of our past. Everyone is welcome in God's family. 5. Perseverance in faith. The Israelites' perseverance in marching around Jericho for 7 days teaches us the importance of persistence in our faith journey. We must continue to trust and follow God, even when the results are not immediate. By applying these lessons from the story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho, we can navigate our modern challenges with faith, courage, and confidence in God's power. Let us remember that with God, all things are possible. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Inspire Nation for more uplifting content. Stay blessed and inspired, dear friends.